Hello, how are you going to, once your organization has been transformed over to Agile, how are you going to change your technical practices to be technical practices that are going to function well under Agile? So that's the question I'm going to address today. Now, my name is Tim McDermott. I'm a software development project manager. I live in the beautiful city of Tampa Bay, Florida. Tampa Bay has a lot of beautiful outdoor locations, like what you see behind me. Uh, this location has nothing to do with what I'm going to be talking about today, but it's just a beautiful park on a beautiful day here in Tampa. Um, so that's it. Now, we're going to talk about extreme programming, because extreme programming is very, very compatible with Agile. It's a set of technical practices that have been put together by another Kent Black or something like that, and it works very good with Agile. And we're going to talk about a few. There's more technical practices in Extreme that I could possibly talk about today, but I'll talk about a few of them. Number one, I want to talk about test-driven development. It's a way of improving the quality of the code that comes out and initially. So first you write instead of writing the code first, you write the test script first. You're using an automated testing tool, and you write the test script to test this code that you're going to write. Then once that's written, you write the code, but you write the code with the intention of writing code that will fail. First you want to test the test script, to make sure it's working, to make sure it reports failures when there is a failure. So you write the code that fails it, then you run the test, and it should fail it. And then the next step then, that you've proven that the test works, is to now change that piece of code and make it to a piece of code that passes the test. And then you repeat the same process again with the next piece of code that you're going to write. That's test-driven development. Another thing in extreme programming and other technical practices, continuous integration. Now, if you're working on a piece of code in an application, and another person working on another piece of code in that same application, if those two pieces of code overlap in any way, then there is a danger, there's a risk of one negatively impacting the other. Therefore, you need continuous integration of code. You need the code to be moved into the environment where the other person can see it and use it in their testing. So when they're testing, they're using your new code, and thus problems will show up early, and you'll be able to fix them. Another technical practice in extreme programming is pair programming. It's just two programmers working on the same piece of code together at the same time. One person writes the code, the other one views and verifies the code to make sure it's of good quality and it's architected correctly, etc. So it's just a case of two heads being better than one. The next technical practice is whole teams. I want to talk about whole teams. Just like it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village of people to write a good piece of quality code. Not just the developers and the QA, but also the business people involved need to be there on the team, directly working together. And they need to be able to back each other up and do each other's jobs, etc. That helps to create a environment where good code is written. Another technical practice is refactoring. Refactoring is just revisiting the code, and so usually a lot of the times when you're initially developing something, you're just doing quick and dirty practices to develop the piece of code, just to be honest. And so it's good at the end of the development period to go back and relook at the code and refactor it again, and just keep refactoring the code even after this code is in production. Throughout the entire life of the code, it needs to be continuously upgraded. The quality needs to be changed because quality standards change, etc. The environment changes, everything changes. We need to make sure that code is kept up to date with all the changes. So that's refactoring. So those are the things so there's a lot more practices inside of extreme programming. I encourage you to take a look at them. But that's the ones I wanted to talk about today. Now I need to, ice cream truck just drove up somewhere behind me. I heard it arriving earlier, so I need to go get myself some ice cream. I hope if you found this video to be of value, I hope you follow me and hope you share this video. Thank you all very much.